I'm here with editors of Mida newspaper, a Hebrew language newspaper that's new on the Israeli scene, with Akiva Bigman and Ran Baratz. If you could just tell me, whoever wants to answer can answer. When did Mida start, and why did you see the need for a new newspaper in Israel?
Sure. So we started a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, and really we tried to fill in a lacuna in Israeli media. Israeli media is divided to a religious right and secular left, and there is a huge population, Israeli, civilians in between, who have a tendency towards Judaism but are not Orthodox in any way, and certainly are not left. So we decided to try to fill this gap, and been growing ever since.
So how fast have you been growing?
I would say something like 50 to 100% every month since we started.
How many readers do you have now? Or hits a day, or however you want to count it?
We have about 3,000 members on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And every day around 2,000 entrances, depending on the content. We have good content, we get much more.
And you regard it more as a magazine than as a newspaper, correct?
Right.
So you're doing more in-depth stories. Can you describe a couple of the better, the more well-known stories that you have either broken or been covering?
Well, we had the Gilad Natan story from the research center of the Knesset. Gilad Natan, as a researcher, was very left-wing. He was actually a communist, and it was obvious in his researches that he had his ideas, his opinions were coming through to his researches, and eventually he got fired from the research center.
This is from a news perspective, but we also have, from a research point of view, we have, I think, even after 4 or 5 months, we have the most in-depth coverage of education things in Israel. How education works here, what does the government achieve, what it doesn't achieve, so, alternative policies. I think we're probably the only ones who do it really seriously.
Do you concentrate more on domestic issues, more on Israel's relations with its neighbors, or it's a mix?
It's a mix. It's a mix. I'll say it this way: our original material is mostly going to be domestic, because there's a lot what to do. A lot of issues, domestic issues, economically, educationally, all this government structures. There's a lot of what to do which nobody does. And we also will deal with foreign policy, neighbors, Middle East and stuff like that, but that will be mostly secondary material, a lot of it from the elder of Ziyon.
I
such.
I think you quoted me at like 8 or 9 times or something like that. It's very nice. I do appreciate that. And you generally are more right-wing on domestic, like economic issues, and
I wish that was true. I mean, in economics in Israel, there's really left and less left. There isn't really any right. So we try to form a new kind of more Republican, limited government kind of thinking in Hebrew for Israel, which is really lacking. I mean, it's something that doesn't really exist. And Israel is a statist by definition.
Most of the material today of right-wing economics will be translations from America.
Really?
That's what you can find. But there's no original material about Israel. And we have this experience, you find these people. This doctor, today we posted the article, this doctor about education, about privatizing schools. This one guy hiding someplace, school of like business or something. We found him, so now he has his home, and we collect these people hiding all over the place. Which they never get coverage and never really get any media outlets, and we build this kind of society actually.
Very nice. How many employees? How many employees?
We are 4 or 5 regular people, and I would say about 10 to 15 freelance writers that write periodically.
Are you anticipating sometime, going into print?
This is of course funding question, but if we go to print, it will be more like a journal, a quarterly or something like that. And this is on the agenda. we want to do something like that.
Very nice. Do you have any famous fans or anybody who's like well known that seems to to be on board with your way of thinking?
You know, we have. It's easy. It's easy to say yes because on Facebook, famous people become your friend very easily because they have the incentive to be that many friends. So yes, when we publish something that's controversial, we get responses that we become aware that we are read in important places. So it's very nice.
Yeah, I can understand that. Is there anything else you would like to add about yourselves or about the newspaper or the Mida rather?
If everything goes according to plan and in a few years we'll become successful, let's say in the scale of the success of what you managed to do, I think it would be a great thing for Israel. This is something that the public needs. I think it's very similar to the way that I think you operated. This is something the public needs. There is a gap, no one feels it. So it's on our shoulders to provide this point of view.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.